Only casual collections and an imperfect and strongly edited set of his wartime documents are available in printed form. Nor did he write a memoir or any other personal account of his experiences, though he had hoped to do so. As a result, few people are aware of Lee's talent for writing. Yet its quality and the story he tells are so compelling that even had he not distinguished himself as a general, his family correspondence would still be considered an extraordinary record of the nation's development. Many of Lee's personal letters were lost in the upheaval of war. Some have been recently rediscovered. Others are still missing. The unavailability of so many documents has created a certain void, which in turn has fostered Lee's remoteness and the mythology that surrounds him. In the last dozen years, many letters have been quoted, often with great skill. But no matter how faithful the process, by definition, such excisions also cut away context and meaning. Moreover, hundreds of books have been written about Lee, a historiographical overload. It seems the more that is written about him, the more he has become obscured. So we need a pathfinder through this second-hand wilderness, and what better guide than Lee himself? For his letters wonderfully illuminate his personality. Because he had no premonition of fame, never saw himself as a tragic, heroic figure, they are written unselfconsciously. He was more careful during and after the war, of course, but for the most part Lee allows himself to be remarkably open. He is so candid that at times there is a voyeuristic sense to reading the letters. They also reveal the pressures on his character and its development over time. His was not a static personality that seamlessly flowed from high achievement at West Point to battlefield brilliance. Irreverent letters from his 20s differ considerably, and sometimes sadly, from the sober philosophical missives of the wiser but scarred and aging man. With these letters we cannot just admire or reject one aspect of Lee. They are not a kind of character compass that points forever in one direction. The letters force us to embrace a multifaceted man. Lee the flirt, the man handicapped by passivity and indecision, the racial supremacist, the humorless sermonizer, and the merry companion must be conformed with Lee the natural leader, the sentimental lover of children and animals, the indifferent engineer, the aggressive warrior. His words can distress as much as they charm. We cannot compartmentalize him, and we cannot simply lionize him. His letters show him to be too human for that. There is a certain responsibility to interpreting precious pieces of our past. Although this book is filled with new material, it is not meant to be a sensationalist biography, nor is it a cradle-to-grave chronology, a detailed description of military movements, or an exhaustive analysis of the Civil War. Those books have already been written. Debunking the Lee mythology is also not the point of this book. Rather, it is to amplify our understanding of what constitutes heroism and how, as an ordinary person, Lee faced the vagaries of the human condition. These letters help us to understand his prominence and to move out of our own moment to connect with a larger collective experience. In wanting to respect both Lee's fine expressive talent and the larger import of his writing, I decided to publish the entire text of selected letters and use them as departure points for what I call historical excursions. These essays take us where the letters lead, meandering through family upheavals, societal change, and the development of America's martial institutions. I was inspired in this by the many pleasurable hours I have spent in the company of my sister, Dr. Beverly Louise Brown, who is an art historian. Her ability to illuminate the hidden mysteries of a masterwork made me believe that this could be done with equal effect using manuscripts. An untutored viewer sees a picture, has an emotional and visual first reaction to it, identifies its shapes or images. But when an expert points out the factors that influenced the artist, how he or she mixed the paint and chose the colors, where the subject was found, and what is behind the iconography, the painting becomes something more than it was. In the same way, interpreting Lee's letters for the listener lends them context and heightens their value. My hope is that those who hear this book will give careful attention to the documents themselves, which are stirring, thought-provoking, and amusing, perhaps rereading them at the conclusion of each excursion.